Welcome to Mindful Leadership, Transforming Lives, with your host, Singh. This is where leadership meets purpose, presence, and passion. In today's fast paced, high pressure world, we face a leadership crisis. Too often, teams are led by managers who lack empathy, clarity, and vision, leaving individuals uninspired, disconnected, and undervalued. But it doesn't have to be this way. Great leadership isn't born, it's built. The end game: empower your leadership, inspire the world. Every week, join me, your host Singh, as we tackle the gaps in leadership and life coaching head on, learning how mindfulness, emotional intelligence, and compassion can redefine success. This isn't just another podcast, it's a mission to fill the void left by ineffective leadership. And it's not just about leadership in business. Life coaching for leaders and new executives is at heart of this journey. Ready to rise above the noise and lead with clarity, purpose, and impact? Join a global movement dedicated to reshaping the future of leadership one mindful moment at a time. Let's begin.
Welcome back to another episode of Mindful Leadership Podcast on the Transformation Network. The podcast where we turn stress into strategy, overthinking into clarity, and overwhelm into momentum. I'm your host, Singh, the leadership coach who knows that growth does not happen through burnout, it happens through alignment. So let's begin. How many of you would say your day sounds like this? Inbox urgent, Slack message saying need you ASAP, and calendar has all this emergency alignment meetings. And your nervous system is like, excuse me, sir, this is not what I signed up for. Then congratulations, you're officially leading in 2026. And this episode, it is for you. Welcome back to the show where we turn stress into strategy and pressure into clarity. And today we are diving into something I call the calm advantage because let's face it, leadership is not stressful because of one big fire. It is stressful because someone handed you a flamethrower and said good luck. Now, when I say calm, I don't mean ignore the problem and hope it goes away. This is not yoga on a beach, folks. Calm is I can think clearly and make the right call while the world is screaming like it is a finale of a reality show. And here's the kicker: the chaos. It's not going anywhere. No. Inbox chaos, Slack chaos, existential late night. What am I doing with my life chaos? All here to stay. The real question is, are you going to let urgency run you, or are you going to lead from calm? That's what we are unpacking today. So let me ask you something. Have you ever opened your laptop in the morning and felt your chest physically tighten? You haven't even clicked on anything yet. You're just looking at your inbox and your body is already like brace for impact. It's about to get messy. And here is what is wild. Most leaders don't burn out because of some giant crisis that takes them out in one dramatic swoop. No, burnout is death by a thousand tiny urgency, thousand paper cuts. It's the emails, the meetings, the pings, the do you have 5 minutes? That is now a 5 minute meeting. Sound familiar? Good. Because today we are going to look at three things: naming what urgency really does to your brain, not pretty. Giving you a simple framework you can actually remember under pressure, and teaching you a 60-second reset you can use before you hit send on that email you will regret or walk into that meeting you were not ready for. So grab a coffee, your tea, whatever highly caffeinated beverage is keeping you functional these days, and let's get into it. So let's talk about urgency. You know, that thing that feels like it is tattooed on your forehead. Every morning, inbox urgent, Slack need ASAP, calendar emergency alignment, all before 9 a.m. in the morning. Urgency is like that one friend who always needs to talk but never actually fixes anything. It is loud, it is dramatic, and worst of all, it tricks you into thinking it is important. But here is the real problem with urgency: it does not just speed up, it shrinks you. Think about it. When urgency arrives, your attention narrows, your time horizon shrinkens, your creativity, well, that's out of the window, and your option collapse like a bad Gina game. And over time, here is what happens: urgency trains your team and your culture to believe three dangerous lies. One, the loudest problem wins. Two, the faster responder is the hero. And three, clarity is optional. Sounds familiar? Look, urgency loves to show up wearing a cape. It is like, I'm here to save the day. But spoiler alert, urgency is not a superhero. It is more like that guy in the office who brings donuts but eats the last one himself. Urgency makes everything feel like a fire drill, even when nothing is actually burning. And here is the trap: speed is not progress all the time. Let me say that one more time for people in the back: speed is not progress all the time. Urgency is often just anxiety with a calendar invite. But here's the deal: the goal is not to eliminate urgency. That is impossible. The world is chaotic. The inboxes are not going to stop being needy anytime soon. The goal is to build the skill of staying calm inside energy and urgency. Bring that inside energy to get the calm when you are sitting in that urgency situation. Because calm is your superpower. Calm is what lets you think clearly when everything else is running around you like it's the last 10 minutes of Black Friday at Target. Calm is what lets you choose the right action, not just the fastest one. So here is your challenge. The next time urgency shows up screaming, take 1 second, just one, and ask yourself, is this actually urgent or is this just noise? Because the truth is, urgency is not going anywhere, but how you respond to that is your call. All right, let's get real for a second. Urgency is not free either. It is not just a vibe or a temporary inconvenience, it is a full blown thief. And the worst part, you're not just paying for it with your time. No, you're paying with your focus, your team's sanity, and probably a few years off your lifespan. And I call it urgency tax. And trust me, this tax man is coming for everything. So let me break it down. First, the clarity tax. This is when urgency steals your ability to think straight. You start solving symptoms instead of systems. It is like slapping duct tape on a leaky pipe and calling it fixed. Sure, the water stops for now, but give it a week, and your basement is going to look like set off water world. When you are in reaction mode, you make decision faster, but you think less deeply. And that is how you end up solving the wrong problem really, really quickly. And let's face it, there is no faster way to stress out your whole team than by confidently solving the wrong problem. It is like showing up to a potluck with folks when everyone needed plates. Sure, you contributed, but now everyone is just mad at you. Next up, the cultural tax. This one is sneaky because when you lead from urgency, you're not just paying the price yourself, you're making your team pick up the tab. And here is how it works: when everything is on fire, Nothing feels important anymore. Your team stops asking what really matters and starts asking what's going to get me yelled at it if I don't do it. That is not leadership, that is survival. And over time, you are unintentionally teaching your team that the loudest problem win, the fastest responder is the hero, and clarity is optional. And when you do that, you are creating a culture of chaos. People stop thinking long term, they stop innovating, and they definitely stop caring about the big picture because they are too busy trying not to drown today. Let me put this away. If your team's motto is basically who is panicking and how I can join them, we have got a problem. And then finally, the big one that I have paid myself, the health tax. Now, this one hits close to home because when you live in urgency mode, your body becomes your dashboard. And if that dashboard is flashing red every day, tight chest, shallow breath, clench jaw, eventually something is going to break. You know what I'm talking about? That moment when your body goes, hey, if you don't go slow, I'm going to shut you down. I'm going to shut down this whole operation. And suddenly you're Googling things like, why does my eye twitch during Zoom calls? Now, here's a portrait. It's not about your Wi Fi stressing you out, it is you. And that is the hard truth. Calm is not soft, it is not passive. Calm is expensive because it takes discipline, it takes effort, but it pays dividends because it prevents the mess. Think about it. Would you rather spend 10 minutes getting grounded and clear or 10 hours cleaning up a mess you could have avoided later? Urgency feels like productive in the moment, but it is usually just the chaos in a hurry. Leadership is not about moving fast, it is about moving right. So here is my challenge for you. The next time urgency shows up waving its arms and screaming, this is a fire. Stop. Take one breath and ask yourself, is this really a fire or is this just smoke? Because here's the thing, calm is not the absence of urgency, calm is the ability to lead inside. And that being able to lead inside chaos, that's how you stop paying the urgency tax. All right, let me paint a picture. Ponder this. It is 9 a.m. You have not even taken your first sip of coffee because, let's be honest, just looking at your calendar gave you anxiety. Your phone lights up like a Vegas slot machine. Clients' emails, we are escalating this unacceptable. Slack, leadership needs an update in 20. Calendar reminder, emergency alignment, and your brain is like, cool, cool, cool. Everything is on fire. And I am the only one with a bucket. Here's the thing, this moment, it is not unique. This is modern leadership in 2026. Chaos with a side of caffeine. But what happens next? That is up to you. Same problem, same stakes, two leaders, two outcomes. Let's meet the leader, firefighter mode. The email comes in and boom, they are off. Heart racing, jaw tight, adrenaline pumping like they are about to run a 100-meter dash. They skim the email, don't fully process it, and immediately hit the Slack with everyone stop what you're doing. Get on a call now. By 9:15, the whole team is scrambling. Screenshots are flying. Someone is triple checking spreadsheets. And let's be honest, half the people on that call are just trying to prove it's not my fault. By lunchtime, the team is exhausted. No one is clear on actual issue. And the leader, they've got 15 action items, zero clarity, and a frustrated client waiting for an answer. Oh, by 4 p.m., it is worse. Why? Because the leader did not lead, they reacted. Let urgency drive the bus, and now everyone is motion sick. And the real kicker, they're probably sitting there thinking, man, I crushed it today. No, you did not, sir. You just ran around yelling fire and handed everyone a squid gun. Now, let's look at leader B. Calm conversation. Same problem, same angry email, but instead of letting the adrenaline take over, the leader pauses just for two deep breaths. They notice the panic rising because, let's be real, we are all human. And they decide, I am not spreading this. And here is what they do instead. They clarify what is the actual outcome we are protecting here. They ask, what is the simplest move to restore trust? No mass panic, no all hands on the deck chaos. The leader sets up 10-minute triage call with the two most relevant people. What do we know for sure? What is being assumed? What is the biggest risk right now? By 11 a.m., one owner, one deliverable, a clear timeline. The client gets a thoughtful response. The team feels capable, and the leader, they've still got gas in the tank for the rest of the day. Same problem, different nervous system, different outcome. Now you might think, okay, cool story. But how do I go from leader A to leader B? From being a firefighter to being the calm one. Because right now I'm the one yelling fire and waving the squid gun. Here's the secret. Calm is not a personality trait, it is a skill. And like any skill, it takes practice. Look, I'm not saying you need to become some Zen monk who floats above chaos. No, you don't need to start lighting candles every time Slack pings you. No. But you do need to learn how to pause before you react, even if it is just for one or two deep breaths. Because here's the deal, urgency is contagious. When you react, your team reacts. When you panic, they panic. But calm is contagious too. When you pause, you give everyone else permission to pause. When you think clearly, you create the space for better decision. And then here's the kicker. Calm is not about ignoring urgency. It is about leading inside that urgency. It is about saying, yes, this is serious, but we are not going to sprint off a cliff just because it feels fast. Leadership does not happen in absence of chaos. It happens inside that chaos. And the leaders who thrive, they are the ones who can regulate their nervous system long enough to ask, what matters most right now? What is the smallest move that gets us back on track? That is not just leadership, that is the mastery. So here's a challenge for you this week. The next time chaos hits, which it will be, pause, just two deep breath, and ask yourself, am I reacting or leading? Is this the fire or just the smoke? Because the world does not need more firefighters. It needs leaders who can think clearly when everyone else is panicking. And if you can learn to master your nervous system in the middle of a madness, you will become unstoppable. All right. So you're in the middle of chaos, the emails are piling up, Slack is blowing up, your calendar looks like Tetris on hard mode, right? And now you're sitting there thinking, I'm one coffee spill away from my villain story. But here's the thing, calm is not about ignoring the chaos. It's not about pretending it is not there. Calm is about learning how to lead inside that chaos. And that's where the calm reset comes in. Think of this as your leadership Swiss Army knife, simple, effective, and always there when you need it. Let me break it down for you. First step, check the body. And here is what most people don't realize: stress does not start in your inbox, it starts in your body. Think about it. When you are stressed, your body goes full fight and flight mode. Your jaw tightens, your shoulders creep up to your ears sometimes, like they're trying to escape. Your breath shallow, fast, like you are sprinting from a tiger. But here's the kicker: if your body thinks you are under attack, your brain is like, who? Thinking is cancer. Let's just survive. So, first things first, check the body. Is your jaw clenched? Are your shoulders tense? Are you typing like your keyboard owes you money? Catch it early. Because if you are stressed out and you do not even realize it, guess what? That stress is about to become someone else's problem. And let me tell you, no one wants your stress typing energy in their inbox. We have all read those emails and they are not fun. Step two, allow one breath to lengthen. And here's the thing about breathing, friends: it's free, it's portable, and it can literally reset your brain in under 10 seconds. But I'm not talking about some fancy yoga breath work. This is simple. Just inhale normally and then exhale slowly, like you're cooling soup. Why? Because when you extend your exhale, you're basically telling your nervous system, hey, we are safe, chill out. Do it twice. That's all it takes. Two long exhales, and suddenly you go from fight and flight to I can think clearly again. Honestly, if you are ever yelled at someone to calm down while you were stressed, you probably should have tried this first. Just saying. Step three, label the real need. And here is the hard truth. Most overwhelmed, it's not the number of tasks you have, it is the ambiguity that is killing you. Think about it. When you're staring at a giant to do list, your brain is like, where do I even start? And that's when panic sets in. So the fix, label the real need and ask yourself, what is the actual problem I'm solving? What is the outcome that really matters here? What is one thing I need to focus on right now? Because when you label the need, you turn chaos into clarity. And clarity, that is how you get your power back. Look, you can't solve everything at once. You're not Google, you're one person. Start with the real need and go for them. And step four, make the next move. And here's where most people mess up. Urgency makes you think you need a big dramatic solution. But calm leaders, they think small. The question is not how do I fix everything? The question is, what is the smallest move I can make right now that makes the biggest impact? Maybe it is one clarifying question. Maybe it is assigning one owner to one task. Maybe it is sending one clear message that resets expectation. Small, clean, leveraged move. That is how you lead through chaos without creating more of it. Because let's be honest, big, messy moves, that's just panic wearing a superhero cape. So let's recap. Check the body, catch the tension early, allow one breath to lengthen, reset your nervous system. Label the real need, turn ambiguity into clarity, and make the next move, no matter how small. One step is all it takes to move forward. That is the calm reset, 4 steps, 60 seconds. And suddenly you are leading with clarity instead of reacting with chaos. Look, the world is not going to stop throwing fires at you. I can guarantee you that. But calm is your steering wheel. Urgency might hit the gas, but calm is what keeps you from driving off a cliff. So next time chaos hits, use calm, reset. Because leadership is not about avoiding the storm. It is about learning how to stand steady in middle of it. Remember, 2 to 3 deep breath breaks up from the fire and fight mode and engages the prefrontal cortex, which is our logical brain. That is what empowers you. to tap into the true knowledge and direction, the cognitive power that our brain has. You have listened, you have laughed, maybe you had a few, oh man, that's me moment, but now it's time to take this from interesting to impactful because let's face it, knowing what to do does not change anything. Actually, doing it does. That's where the magic happens. So here's a challenge this week. Find one chaotic moment, just one. It could be your inbox on Monday morning, a tense team meeting, or that lonely moment when someone says, we need to talk. You know the one. In that moment, instead of reacting, I want you to use the calm reset. Just four simple steps. Now, I know what you're thinking, saying that sounds great, but do I really have time to pause in the middle of chaos? Let me flip that question to you. Do you have time not to? Because here's the truth, chaos is not going anywhere. Your inbox will still be needy. Slack will still ping like it is trying to ruin your focus. Life will still throw curveballs. But how you lead through it, that is a choice. And let me be clear, calm is not about being soft or slow. Calm is the power. Calm is clarity. Calm is the difference between taking control of the storm and letting the storm run you. Think of it like this, you're not trying to stop the waves, you're learning to surf. And nobody ever learned to surf by panicking and flailing, unless, of course, your goal is to face plant. Just try once. Find your moment of chaos this week, big or small, and hit it with the calm reset. Friends, chaos is inevitable, but calm is a choice. So this week, choose calm because when you do, you don't just change the way you lead, you change the way your team thinks, the way problems get solved, and the way forward gets clear. You got this. I'm saying, and this has been another episode of Transformation Network. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Mindful Leadership. I'm saying, and I'll see you next time. Until then, take the breath, ask that question. This is your moment. Take it. You have got this. Thank you.
Thank you for watching Mindful Leadership Transforming Lives. With me, your host, Singh. We are honored to have you join us on this journey to explore the transformative power of mindfulness, emotional intelligence, and authentic leadership. Tune in every week on transformationtalkradio.com at noon Pacific on Tuesdays, where we will continue to explore how mindful leadership can create a ripple effect of positive changes in your life and lives of those you influence. This show is dedicated to helping you lead with purpose, presence, and passion. Whether you're navigating the complexities of business, building strong connection with your team, or striving to make a meaningful impact in the world around you. To learn more about the show, access additional resources, or dive deeper, visit singpowerupcoach.com. Remember, leadership isn't just about what you do, it's about who you are. Let's continue to transform lives together, one mindful moment at a time. See you next week.